Hallo und herzlich willkommen zurück zu einer neuen Folge von Star Trek Resurgence. Ja, wir werden einfach gleich mal weitergehen. Ich werde nicht lange quatschen. Schön, dass du wieder mit dabei bist.
But I'm actually looking forward to seeing Chobok. Not that I'd expect this kind of welcome from him, but I can just imagine the look on his face.
Oh, I'm sure we're gonna hear about it from him. Let's just go get it over with.
After all we've survived, you're still a pessimist, huh?
Ja, wir können nicht immer Glück haben, ne? Behaupte ich jedenfalls mal.
I can't believe it! You evaded the Takan, ejected their warp cores, and lived to talk about it!
Wir sind halt geil.
That about sums it up.
They're gonna be teaching this at the Academy for years to come. I mean it! Everybody's gonna learn how you pulled it off!
Ich will es nicht. So beeindruckend ist das nicht.
Oh, I wouldn't know about that.
After this, you'll probably get a personal invitation to show them how it's done. I heard about Belle. Is Miranda?
As far as we know, she's still out there.
Well, I know Captain Rydek will do her best to get her back.
Hold on. Rydek? What about Captain Solano?
He was turned into a Takan.
Da ist ein bisschen was passiert,
Rydek
ne?
had to take over. She's a hell of an officer, but none of us have been up against anything like this. No one has. Not in 500,000 years.
Wir müssen alle helfen.
We'll just have to step up and work that much harder to help Captain Rydek.
It's gonna take all of us.
Sag ich ja. Mahlzeit.
Talk to you later.
It is agreeable to see you again.
Ich weiß.
Is that so?
It was by no means a certainty that you would return to duty here,
No, it was not.
but it was my sincere hope you would.
It is agreeable to see you as well, sir.
I concur.
You should know your absence has left engineering terribly short-handed. During your sojourn, this department has fallen unacceptably behind schedule on both regular and irregular duties.
Wenn wir nicht da waren, habt ihr die Arbeit nicht geschafft, oder was?
Irregularity going around.
I am stating facts, not looking for excuses.
Das nehme ich mal als
I
Kompliment.
gotta admit, it's a little flattering that this place went to hell so fast without me. So, I'll take that as a compliment.
I believe factors other than your absence were also to blame.
Hat schon.
Normally, I would assign you to one of the many pressing repair tasks. But, given your experience on board the Zeldi, I have suggested you join the senior staff briefing as we determine our next course of action.
Okay.
You can
Yep.
commence your maintenance shift afterwards.
Gut. Wortgefecht. Oh, jetzt wird es losgehen, Auseinandersetzung oder was? Kloppen wir uns auch ein bisschen? Nö.
I tended to an Illydian earlier. Major Sarlet Arminta.
Ah, yes. I met him at the negotiations.
I never would have imagined I'd be here, on the same ship, working together with our oppressors. But now that I am, I can imagine a future where the Hotari and Illydians are no longer enemies. I'd always hoped for peace.
Die sollten Frieden finden. Ich werde ihnen
There's still a
helfen.
lot of bad blood. Maybe too much.
Seien Sie vorsichtig. Naja, die muss immer noch vorsichtig sein. Ich werde ihnen helfen. Ich werde ihnen helfen.
Well, if there's any way I can help, let me know.
I'll take you up on that. It's good to have the support of a Starfleet captain, I'm sure.
It's coming along nicely.
Das läuft gut, ja.
I'll take it from here. We're almost done.
I have to brief Ambassador Spock in a few minutes.
Ambassador Spock can wait. You have some fences to mend. Personally, I'm against the needless destruction of innocent life forms, so I'm glad you transported the Draconian crystals onto the ship. But Lieutenant Bedrosian obviously feels otherwise. And right now, you need the full support of your bridge crew. Being an effective leader requires trust. But an issue as divisive as this can create discord.
Kann schon sein, ja. Kümmere mich um sie. Ich wünsche mir unterschiedliche Standpunkte. Ich bin froh, dass sie mich unterstützen. Ja, ich bin ja froh, dass die mich unterstützt. Ja, ja.
We all know I'm new to this, so it's nice to have your support.
Even when we don't agree or there's something I don't like, I'll let you know. But you'll always have my support. It's been a chaotic last few days for everyone. You need to name a new first officer in preparation for what's coming. You'll have to work to regain Lieutenant Bedrosian's trust. But if she's removed from consideration, it comes down to Westbrook or Ermot. Obviously, there are pros and cons with each, but ultimately, the decision is yours.
Na toll.
Commander Westbrook has seniority.
Rumzicken, wenn nicht gewählt wird.
First officer. Ermot has the knowledge and experience that makes him more than qualified. You really couldn't go wrong with either of them.
Boah, ich habe keine Ahnung. Westbrook. Ermot ist ein guter Kandidat. War das nicht der... Ich nehme Nummer 2.
I don't mind saying I consider Commander Ermot a strong candidate for the role.
He'd be a popular choice with the crew, and bring a steadiness to the position that others might lack. Certainly not a controversial choice, but then some may perceive that as playing it safe. You're as good as new.
Thank you, Dr. Duvall.
Always nice to have a captive audience. You really shouldn't keep Ambassador Spock waiting.
Habe ich das damit jetzt auch schon ausgesucht?
I'll meet you inside.
I'm here to officially tender my resignation from the crew of the USS Resolute.
Warum?
I cannot in good conscience continue to serve aboard this ship. Not while the interests of the enemy take precedent over the safety of the crew.
Lieutenant, we both know how much we need your help and expertise for the coming conflict. I have no one to replace you.
I understand, Captain, and I apologize, but my heart is not in it any longer, and to stay would be a disservice to us both.
My door is always open if you change your mind.
I appreciate that.
Naja.
We'll have Ambassador Spock via subspace shortly.
Thank you, Mr. Ermot.
Ich mich entschieden, war doch der blaue, ja.
Bedrosian were about to begin.
That won't be necessary.
Petty Officers Diaz and Edslar have first-hand experience with our adversaries. I thought it advantageous for them to join this briefing. I understand this is unusual, but I trust you have no objections?
Talk about moving up in the world. Not that I'm surprised in the least.
Sind ungewöhnlich. Ich erlaube es. Ich will, dass sie hier sind. Oh ja.
Excellent idea, Mr. Chovak. They deserve to be here.
In all seriousness, what Diaz and Edslar accomplished aboard the Zeldi is nothing short of remarkable. They're both to be commended, not only for surviving against incredible odds, but for helping our efforts against these scions.
You know, Carter deserves most of the credit. None of us would have made it without his help. We'd all be bioformed by this point.
Das war Teamarbeit.
There were way more people involved than just me. Not only Petty Officer Edslar, but we had help from an Elydian officer named Arminta as well.
Interesting.
Ambassador Spock is ready for you.
Put him through.
Captain Rydick, your recent change in station certainly warrants mention, and I trust you to faithfully execute your expanded duties. Right now, we must keep our attention on the clear and present danger that lies ahead, the Takan. and their warship. The closest populations are the Hotari and Elydian systems, and they are likely the first targets for mass bioforming. After that lies Federation space. I have advised Starfleet Command to send an impromptu battle group to intercept and assist you, but that will take time. You are our first line of defense. And with our shield algorithms compromised, we are at a great disadvantage. Of course, you know that as well as I do.
Mhm. Wir schaffen das alleine, das Risiko ist zu hoch, wir nehmen die Hilfe an.
I'm glad to hear the battle group is en route, Ambassador. With what we're up against, we're gonna need all the help we can get.
And you will have it. Remember, our strength is drawn from our ability to work together towards a common goal.
Have we made any progress in finding a way to defend ourselves from the Aphilion's bioforming weapon?
Currently, our shields will not protect us, but I am compiling all of the information the away team gathered on the Zeldi and cross-referencing it against our own as well as Portal 6-3's methods.
The away team is sitting right here. They survived without getting bioformed, so we know it's possible. So, what's the secret? How do we defend ourselves? Is there a weakness we can exploit? Something we can do to avoid getting bioformed?
Lassen Sie sich nicht fangen, es ist eine ernsthafte Bedrohung, darauf gibt es keine einfache Antwort.
I wish I could tell you the solution, but the truth is, there is no easy answer. There's no defense against bioforming, one-on-one or on a mass scale. At least, not that I know of.
You may not be able to stop it, but it might be possible to slow it down. It's too soon to say for sure, but we've had some promising indications that Duridium can delay the bioforming process.
Duridium?
It's not a cure. It's not going to bring anyone back we've already lost. But Duridium is a cell stabilizer, so it has the potential to slow down the onset of physical and mental changes, if not entirely prevent them.
Mhm.
And we might be the only ship in the fleet with this much Duridium on hand. In fact, a lot of ships wouldn't have any.
Ich gebe es ab. Es verlangsamt den Prozess, aber dann was? Warum haben Sie mir das nicht gesagt? Dann gebe ich euch meins.
I'll forego the rest of my treatments, if it means the crew will be safe.
Captain, you'd die.
That's an honorable intention, but it's not that simple. It requires a much larger dose to be effective. We don't have enough Duridium on board to protect the whole crew. We barely have enough to protect everyone in this room.
Sounds like it won't do us much good then.
The use case I'd suggest is that it could buy a little time for an officer or a small group to complete a task or mission. But it has to be taken at the moment of exposure to the bioforming mechanism.
Prepare a delivery method for this remedy.
That raises the question, what is the mission?
Assuming the Aphelion uses shields of some kind, I don't expect it will be easy to bypass their defenses.
We may not be able to block the Aphelions' attack either. But if they do strike, we know their weapon uses transporter technology. We might be able to backtrack their signal path.
Like we did to evacuate Captain Rydek from Tau.
Exactly. We could send an away team onto the Aphelion.
So we could destroy it from the inside.
I'm not exactly sure how, but that's the idea.
Naja, von innen würde noch gehen, wenn wir eh nicht durch die Schilder durchkommen und uns nur mit dem Transporter drauf beamen könnten. Das machen wir nur im Notfall. Wir werden Portals Unterstützung haben. Wir werden also ihre eigenen Angriff gegen sie an.
So it's like jujitsu. We use their attack and turn it against them.
That's the idea.
We'll keep thinking on it. I'd rather not have to take a direct hit to punch back. There might be some other way we can turn their strength into a weakness.
Das sehe ich auch so.
We'll need to prepare a boarding party, if it comes to that.
Petty Officers Edsalar and Diaz are the logical choices to lead any away mission to the Aphelion. They have already crippled one enemy ship. If anyone can do so again, it is them.
This isn't like the engineering mission that took you to the Zeldi. Do you really have some special insights that a tactical team wouldn't?
Doesn't the fact that we're here speak for itself?
Just surviving won't be enough this time.
Ja. Sabotage ist unsere Spezialität. Wir können die Katabula nicht zerstören, nur Tikon können Tikon-Technik nutzen.
We found that only a Tikon can operate their technology to its fullest. So, unless we want to try to do this with one hand tied behind our backs, we're definitely gonna need an assist from this portal guy.
I like that even less.
Like it or not, that's the truth.
Yes. Portal should be part of the away team. There's no question in my mind.
If this is the necessary course of action, I support it.
I will compile all the latest data on the tricorders, just in case.
In the meantime, I want you working on ways we can combat the Tikon tech. Shields, weapons, anything we can use.
Yes, Captain.
Anything else, Ambassador?
I know this matter is in capable hands. Hold the line as best you can. Help is on the way.
Thank you.
Schickt mal gleich noch die Asgard von Stargate mit. Die sind ein bisschen stärker. Boah, es ist Zeit zu kämpfen, an die Arbeit. Ich glaube an sie alle. Ich glaube an sie alle. Wir werden es schaffen. Wir nehmen die Nummer 3.
I have faith in all of you to meet this moment with the urgency it requires. I expect all of us to give it everything we've got. Thank you, Petty Officers Diaz and Edsalar. You're dismissed.
While we have a quorum of senior staff, there is a procedural element we need to take care of. The Resolute command codes must be transferred to Captain Rydek for control of the ship.
Of course.
Computer, transfer all command codes to Captain Jaro Rydek. Voice authorization Ermot, Echo 4 Lima.
Voice authorization Duval. Beta 2 Yankee.
Voice authorization Westbrook. Alpha 7 Tango.
Awaiting your authorization, Captain.
Alpha Bravo Charlie. Whiskey.
Voice authorization, Rydek. Charlie. 7. Whiskey.
Charlie 7.
Codes transferred. The updated command structure
Muss ich mir jetzt bestimmt merken. Charlie 7 Whiskey.
First officer.
Who is the new first officer?
Please designate a new first officer.
Rumot. Ich nenne Rumot.
I am proud to name Commander Ermot as my new first officer, effective immediately. Congratulations.
Thank you, Captain. I promise I won't let you down.
Computer, Commander Ermot is the new first officer of the USS Resolute.
Awaiting voice authorization.
Voice authorization Ermot, Echo 4 Lima.
Authorization is now complete.
Now, if you'll excuse me, there's work to be done.
Nicely done. I think that went well.
Captain Rydek!
Oh, ich sag doch, irgendeiner zickt eh rum.
This is just unbelievable, unacceptable, inexplicable. To be the most senior officer on the bridge, and to be passed over again? I thought we'd turned a corner when you trusted me with the information about Captain Solano being compromised. But boy, was I wrong. And now this? I've never felt more humiliated.
Ja, das kann schon sein, aber Ich weiß, Sie sind enttäuscht. Ich habe das Recht. Sie haben das Recht. Finden Sie sich damit ab. Sie haben das Recht, wütend zu sein, na klar. Ich weiß, Sie sind enttäuscht.
Listen, I know you're disappointed. I would be too in your position. But considering our history and what we're up against, I had to decide what would be best for all of us. Which is why I chose Commander Ermont.
He's not even close to being first officer material. He's little more than a bureaucrat who's never set foot off the ship. That is a serious liability at a time when we need experience. Otherwise, we don't stand a chance against the Scions.
Da liegen Sie falsch. Umut ist beständig und zuverlässig. Meine Entscheidung steht fest.
The crew on this ship has experienced as many challenges and tragedies as any crew could be expected to endure. What we need now, more than anything, is stability and reliability, a calm and reassuring presence.
Ridiculous.
Ja, du bist sehr emotional, mein Freund. Das kann falsche Entscheidungen heraufbeschwören. Oh, Schusslinie. Das kriegen wir auf den Sack.
I don't understand. Giving everything she's got, but it doesn't make a difference. Something is actively slowing us down.
Keep trying. What's the situation in engineering?
I can't raise them. Internal comms are down.
It's the ionic interference. It's spiking again. If we reinitialize the central communications trunk, it should compensate. I know the process, Captain. With your permission, I'll go handle it.
Of course.
If Galvin manages to catch us, there's nothing we can do. We're no match for Taconian technology. Not to mention the shield frequencies. As if that wasn't enough of a challenge of its own.
Okay, ich bin offen für Vorschläge. Wir müssen sie überlisten. Wir kämpfen bis zum Ende. Ich bin offen für Vorschläge.
I'll consider any suggestions from my first officer.
We're being pulled out of warp!
Die Warp-Gondeln, sie flackern.
I've got the Aphelion rapidly bearing down on our position.
Da sind sie. Ist ja riesig, das Teil, ne? Im Gegensatz zu unserem Schiff.
Galvin demands to be heard.
Na dann.
On screen.
Mahlzeug, was geht ab?
You thought you could run? That I would let you escape so easily after taking what's mine? How pathetic and predictable. At least you can take solace knowing you'll be a far braver Takan than you were as a cowardly Kobliad. Is it any wonder your people perished? If your every instinct is to run from a fight?
Sie unterschätzen mich. Ich werde nie ein Tikon sein. Die Sternflotte ist unterwegs. Das werden wir mal nicht verraten. Sie unterschätzen mich.
You underestimate the lengths I'm willing to go to ensure you don't succeed.
Sadly, this is as far as you'll get. We both know I hold your fate in the palm of my hand. That I could crush you in an instant if I so desired.
Das ist korrekt.
And as much as I'd like to, you have another purpose to serve. As one of us.
Einer von uns. Einer von uns. Oh oh.
Red alert! Pandar, get us out of here!
Oh.
Evasive maneuvers!
Okay.
They've hit us. Decks 8 through 10.
Sind die jetzt alle Ticons? Ich sagte, die sind alle Ticons geworden. Tja, und genau mit diesen grünen Augen verabschiede ich mich für heute von euch mit Star Trek Resurgence. Wenn es euch gefallen hat, lasst mir doch einen Daumen nach oben und ein Abo, dann verpasst ihr auch keine zukünftigen Folgen mehr. Und ihr unterstützt mich und meinen Kanal und ihr werdet auch nicht verpassen, wie sehr wir jetzt kämpfen müssen bei Star Trek Resurgence. Haut rein, bis zum nächsten Mal.